Hey guys, what's up? It's Carson and this is the start of a reading vlog. So I want to incorporate more reading vlogs on my channel, and I don't know that they're always going to be like this one. This one is themed, but I do want to start doing more reading vlogs and talking about what I'm reading more, because I think what I'm reading is inspiring a lot of what I'm writing, and I'm definitely doing a lot more reading than I used to. So this reading vlog is themed, as I said, and the theme is Sarah J. Maas. So we are reading A Court of Frost and Starlight on my Kindle, and we are also going to be reading, obviously, A Court of Silver Flames. I picked it up on its release date and then I haven't touched it since, because I didn't read A Court of Frost and Starlight when it came out. Everybody said that it wasn't necessary and that it didn't have any important information in it, which I am about 37% of the way through, so about a third of the way through of that book, and it seems like it's kind of informational. Like, it picks up right where the third book left off, which I did just reread the 3 books in the original, like, ACOTAR trilogy, so I am familiar with what was going on in those, and it seems like it picks up right where they left off, and it's giving a lot of information about where each character is. And it's also written, Feyre and Rhys both have first person perspectives, I believe. I know Feyre does, I think Rhys does too, but there are other characters mixed in that have third person perspectives, so we get to hear about more and how she's feeling and what she's doing. We get to hear about Cassian and what he's doing and how he's feeling. So I don't know, it seems like it's worth the read at this point. I don't know if maybe it was coming off of the third book, like when it was more fresh and you didn't have any more information or more story to go off of. Like, I'm reading this knowing that there's a whole nother book with these characters that I get to read afterwards. So maybe if you were going into it without having that knowledge, it would have been more of a letdown, because it isn't as in-depth as the other books, which, I mean, it's kind of like a novella. I think it's like 270 pages, so it's not going to be as in-depth as an 800-page book, but I am enjoying it. I'm liking that we're getting more characters. I think that Sarah J. Maas tends to have big casts, but we're very inclusive of those casts, and we don't get to see other people that they're interacting with in the world. So we get to see other Fae in the Night Court and also within the Illyrians, so I really like that, and I'm hoping that it continues being good. I kind of want to finish it tomorrow, but I don't know that that's going to happen. And then as soon as I finish it, I'm picking up A Court of Silver Flames. Super freaking excited about that. I think maybe I will buy myself Night Court bookmarks from Etsy, from a buyer on Etsy. If I do that, I will obviously let you know what I'm buying and from who. But yeah, I've had my eye on some of them and I felt kind of bad about spending the money, but I also have some of those like Visa gift cards that people give you, and then you kind of hold on for the rest of your life because you're like, oh, I could use this on anything, and then you end up using it on nothing. So I do have some of those, and maybe I will use some of those to buy myself some type of Etsy merch. So yeah, that's all I have to say tonight. I will see you guys tomorrow when I have read some more. Hey guys, this is Carson from the future, from the end of this vlog. This is a spoilery vlog. I tell you exactly what I'm thinking about all of the books that I read, the 2 Sarah J. Maas books that I read. So if you haven't read them or you don't want to be spoiled, then I would not watch this video. Thanks. But before you go, let me know if you would want to see more videos about different books or even movies or TV shows in the comments down below. Okay, bye. Okay guys, I'm a little peeved because why didn't anyone tell me how good this is? I meant to update you guys sooner. I'm 84% of the way through the book. I'm going to sit here and finish it because I really enjoy it. I have been on TikTok a lot and seeing people talk about the series, obviously, because A Court of Silver Flames. I'm sorry, I keep thinking about the acronyms, and A Court of Frost and Starlight is FOS, and then Silver Flames is SF, and I'm having a hard time keeping them straight in my head. It's like, I'm super enjoying it, and maybe it's because I went in with like no expectations, right? None at all. But the Christmas vibes, them all getting gifts from each other, shopping with Elaine, getting to see a little bit more of how they're living day to day. Reese buys her like land to build a house. She wants to have a baby, she being Feyre. Like, all of this is just so good. And the Tamlin content, like, I'm not a huge fan of Tamlin, but I do think that he could be redeemed. Like, he's not so far gone that I have no interest in him, but also I am like, I'm one of those people that on Vampire Diaries I was Team Klaus, like worse than the bad, and still 100% Team Klaus all the way over Stefan or Damon. But I think Tamlin can be redeemed. I want to see Tamlin be somebody's mate. I want to see all of the mean people get mates, right? Like, start, like, if you read romance books, you know that romance books tend to have series, but they're all companion novels, and each person gets like their own book. That's what I want. I want a book for Tamlin. I want a book for Eris. I want a book for Lucian. I want a book for everybody. I want a book for Azriel. Like, I want them all to have their own stories and get to read their love stories with their mates. Like, yes, that would fulfill so much inside of me. So yeah, I'm 84% of the way through the book. They want to have a baby. Oh, I'm not gonna lie, I've successfully maybe avoided spoilers for A Court of Silver Flames, but I have seen some art with Nesta and Cassian with a baby. So maybe that'll happen. I don't know. I don't know. Oh my god. And I love seeing Cassian with her too. Like, he got her a gift and then he threw it in the freaking river. Like, what was the gift? What was the gift? I'm just supposed to be left not knowing what the gift is. Maybe they'll tell me in the last 84%, the last 16%, but like, what was the gift? I need to know what the gift was. So that's where I'm at. I'm gonna finish this book because it's good. It's good. I like it. I can't believe this came out in 2018. I cannot believe that I freaking slept on this for 3 years. Hey guys, I have my workout gear on because I'm actually going to get that workout in today, but I finished the book. Turns out my Kindle's telling me I had, what, 16% left. I was at 84%, but the actual book ends at 90%, and then there's 10 extra percent that's like the acknowledgements, which I read, and there's a like teaser, I guess, for A Court of Silver Flames, which I also read. And you probably don't know this about me because it's kind of like a weird niche fact, but I don't read teasers. I hate reading teasers. I hate watching trailers for movies and shows and stuff like that. I just feel like it gets me so excited, and then I don't actually get to read that book or watch that movie or show or whatever it is right away, and then that excitement like becomes frustration and anger, and then I just, yeah, it just isn't a good situation for me. So I don't ever read the teaser at the end of the book, but I read it this time and it's making me excited to pick up the next book. But I'm also debating whether or not to pick it up tonight, because there are some other things that I need to get done with my life in general besides just read all day, and it's 2 o'clock now and I haven't gotten anything done except for finishing this book, really. So it's making me think that perhaps picking up the next book is not the smartest thing I could be doing at this point in time. But I do want to keep reading, and I want to read something tonight, so I don't know. I don't really know what I'm going to do. Maybe I'll mix in a different book that's not a Sarah J. Maas book. But I really just want to read it. But I can tell that the slump for Silver Flames is going to be real, because I'm already so excited and pumped to read it based on the little bit I read in A Court of Frost and Starlight, plus like just reading A Court of Frost and Starlight has gotten me so excited. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do. But yeah, I definitely liked it. I do think it's worth reading. It gives you a little bit more about the characters, and honestly, when you're reading a lot of high fantasy books, I think that sometimes those character moments get lost in just having to continue the plot, because the plot has to be the most important thing, or else your readers are going to get lost. So not saying that character is not important, because it obviously is, and characters in any type of book are important, but I think in fantasy especially, there has to be a focus on the plot, because that's what's driving the story, and that's what's keeping everybody just clear on what's going on. So it was kind of nice to just get like to hear from each character. We didn't get to hear from Azriel, which I don't know, it's interesting. We didn't get to hear from Elaine either, I don't think. I'll be honest, the whole Azriel, Elaine, Lucian kind of thing, I don't understand what's going on with that. I don't understand why it seems like Azriel wants Elaine in some way, whether he wants to be her friend or he wants to get with her. I can't really tell, but like my understanding of the whole idea of being mated was that like she's not ever going to be happy with anyone but Lucian, or that like she's supposed to be with him in some type of otherworldly, godly, mystical type of way. So I don't understand that, how that whole dynamic is working, but I guess we'll eventually find out in his book, right? I don't know. But they're not like, that's not really what I'm here for. Honestly, I really like Nesta. I like that she is brooding and she's powerful, but also doesn't really want to be powerful at the same time. Maybe it's because she's the oldest sister and I'm an oldest sister to a younger sister, and I don't know. Just something about her really speaks to me, and I'm excited for her next book. Overall, I think this book was like a 4.5 out of 5. I don't really give ratings, but if I did, that would be my rating. If I reread the whole series again, I will include this in my reread. I think it's part of the series. I think you learn a lot of important things about the characters, which I will speak to later once I start A Court of Silver Flames, if this book was really necessary going into that book, or if that book is going to kind of rehash what happened in this novella. But as it stands, having not read A Court of Silver Flames, I think the novella is definitely necessary to understand where the characters are emotionally as well as physically in some ways when you start A Court of Silver Flames. Yeah, so now I'm gonna go do the dishes and work out, and I will see you guys either later tonight if I don't have the willpower to like push through to tomorrow, or tomorrow when I start A Court of Silver Flames. Hey guys, so I started A Court of Silver Flames today. I am on chapter 6. That's 74 pages in, and I'm hoping to read another at least 100 pages today. I don't really know how much I'm going to get done, but I want to keep reading it because I think it's good so far. I did see a spoiler, I think a spoiler on TikTok, where it said like, do you still like Reese after this book, or you're not supposed to like Reese? I mean, I know Reese doesn't like Nesta. They have a bad relationship, but I think it's okay to not like Nesta because of how she's treating his mate, and for him to not like her, and for us to still like Nesta and Reese even though they don't like each other. that makes any sense. But I don't really know if he's gonna do anything yet. I mean, obviously I'm like right at the beginning of the book. So yeah, I am 74 pages into it. I am liking it so far. In the first chapter, we get to see that Feyre has built this like new house for everybody to live in, and there's no pictures of Nesta, no portraits of Nesta in the house, which I knew that from the little like chapter teaser blurb at the end of A Court of Frost and Starlight, but I don't believe that that blurb mentioned that there are no portraits of their mother either. And so I'm curious about that, if we're gonna see a little bit more of Nesta and her mother. I mean, we did also see, like, there's a little bit of a memory about Nesta and her mother later in the book after that first chapter, but I'm wondering if that is going to keep coming up as something Nesta needs to work through, because it seems like Feyre and Elaine were close to their father and Nesta was close to their mother, and their mother obviously has passed away before the book series even starts. So I'm wondering if we're gonna see a little bit more about that, and about like Nesta's guardedness having started young, when she's obviously the older sister. She feels some responsibility for them, even though Feyre was the one who had the most responsibility when the book series starts, and she's the one who's keeping them alive and feeding them through the winter. So I'm just really interested in that and her relationship with her mother. Again, I did say, like, maybe it's because I'm an oldest that I have this interest in that, but I'm really fascinated by what's going to happen with that. I'm also hoping that we get more of a I'm hoping we see more into her head about why she is treating herself the way she is. We kind of get to see that, like, she's having trouble controlling the power within her, and drinking and having sex and all of these, like, releases for her are helping her to maintain control over that power. But she was so determined in A Court of Wings and Ruin to make life better for the humans and to make life better for Elaine, and she was building connections with the people on Feyre's court, and then all of a sudden the war ended, and it's like she lost her purpose in life and doesn't know where to go from there. So I'm wondering if we're gonna see more into her head about why she chose, like, drinking and sex rather than other paths. Like, she could have used training to help her control her powers, or worked more with Amren about learning how to use her powers instead of just, like, suppressing them. And so I'm really curious if we're gonna see more of that as well. I love Cassian. I knew he was gonna be kind of a sweetheart, and he is. He's like, he's a teddy bear, you know? He growls and he can show his teeth, but he really does care so much, and it's so refreshing to read, and I can't wait to see more of their dynamic. At this point, I haven't really seen much about their dynamic yet. It's kind of been a lot of plot stuff. We haven't really gotten to a lot of emotional beats, but I know they're coming, and I'm really excited. So I'll update you guys next time I read. Hey guys, so I'm at my dad's house. It's been approximately 24 hours since I last updated you, and I am almost done with the book. It's good. It's really good. I super enjoy it. So let's get kind of started with, we'll go with through the characters, right? Feyre is pregnant. Rhys is overprotective. They're worried she's gonna die about the baby. I already feel like I've channeled my Fae midwife. I've come up with like 6 different solutions on how she can have this baby without dying, but we'll see what actually happens. I am hoping, I don't think it's gonna happen, but I really wish she would have the baby in this little chunk that I have left, because I don't want to wait for the next book to come out to find out what's gonna happen with that, because I'm like emotionally invested a little bit. Although I feel, and maybe it's just because I'm reading from Nesta, and Nesta is still so like emotionally damaged, but I feel like I wouldn't want another book on just Rhys and Feyre. I think I would rather see their story through the other characters. and let them have like that happy ending and not have to go and dig back into their lives. But we'll see what SJM decides. I want Moore and Emery to get together. I don't know if that's the thing. I don't know if something's gonna happen in the rest of the book, but they were all in the library. Gwen, Emery, and Nesta were in the library together, and then Moore walks in and she's talking to Clotho, and then Emery sees her and is like, she's always so beautiful, and then the blush goes on her face and it's like, excuse me? Everybody who's still saying that Moore should be with Eris, like, I get it. We all want a redemption arc from Eris because he's who he is. He's like bad and good over and over again all the time. But for real, like, Moore and Emery. That's what I want. That's what I want. I also want to see more from Asriel and Gwen. I hate like cheating tropes. It's just not my thing. I like monogamous relationships. I don't like it when people who are supposed to be in relationships sleep with other people, like at the beginning of the book when Nesta was sleeping with all those guys. Like, I didn't like it. It makes me feel icky. I don't enjoy that. So the whole Lucian, Elaine, and Asriel thing, I wasn't a fan of. So I'm really excited to see, like, I think Asriel and Gwen are going to be mates. I think that Nesta and Cassian are, and I'm just waiting for that like mating bond to snap in, and I swear every time they have an emotional moment I think it's gonna happen and then it doesn't. But that's besides the point. We're talking about Gwen and Asriel, and I'm loving it. She's training to be a Valkyrie. She wrote them in the book. Oh my god, how cute was that? I almost died that that was her solstice gift. And also I'm right at the solstice now, so leave in the comments down below if you know what's gonna happen next, but I am waiting to see if they give each other gifts. And also, I'm loving the solstice thing. I hope we do the solstice in every book, like Harry Potter and There's Always Christmas. I think that's so cute. I don't know if that was her intention, but I really hope that the solstice is part of every book from here on, because I think it's just a cute trend. What other characters have we not talked about? I guess like Nesta and Cassian. They're adorable. I love how Cassian is so protective of her, but also they're like messing with their relationship with each other because neither one of them will actually say what they're thinking and feeling, and that's a little frustrating, but also builds that tension, which I guess is the point of the book, right? To like build tension and have you rooting for these characters. Nesta is also a badass, like, yes. And I want to address what I said earlier in the vlog about the tension between Rhys and Nesta, and how people said like, oh, do you hate Rhys after A Court of Silver Flames? And I don't know if he does anything else. He's very protective of Feyre and the baby, which I get, like, totally cool, you know, props to you being a proud daddy and all that. But the only thing that has really gotten to me is him giving away the dagger to Eris for the solstice. I understand why Nesta shouldn't have had the access to the 3 weapons that she made, because they don't really know what they do yet, and they don't know what her power could spawn. But even if Rhys is holding on to them to keep them safe, he shouldn't have been able to give them to somebody else. They're still hers. She still made them, even if she made them accidentally. That's my feeling on it, but whatever. He hasn't really bothered me all that much, I think, because like I have a tendency to like Nesta just kind of brush Rhys off every time he throws a little hissy fit, so it is what it is. I do love that Nesta is coming into power, and also the Lanthus, or whatever that guy is, the mist monster that they meet in the prison. The fact that he called her the Queen of Queens makes me think a little bit. Makes me think that maybe, because they were talking about how Rhys and Feyre should be like High King and High Queen, maybe Nesta's meant to be High Queen. Maybe she is the only one who has like that power, because sure, Feyre has the power from all of the High Lords, But Nesta has power from the cauldron itself, which has to be over the High Lords, right? So I don't know. I like that idea. I think Nesta would be a pretty dope queen, even though she does have a lot of emotional baggage. But I mean, we all do, and she's working through it. So Reese, you can take a freaking chill pill and let her figure her stuff out, okay? Like, go sit in a corner. But anyway, that's how I feel so far. And I can't say how much I'm gonna read in the rest of today. It's like 10:30, almost 11, I think. I've been up since 7:30 reading this book. I've read like, I don't know, I've read a lot of pages this morning already. But yeah, those are my thoughts so far. Obviously, I finished the book. I basically powered through the end of it. I read it all in 3 days, which is kind of slower than I thought I was going to read it. I'm not gonna lie. And I think I'm gonna do what I did before and just kind of go through the characters, right? So let's start with Feyre and Reese. They have the baby. It's hard, but Nesta saves them, gives up her powers, saves everybody. The baby lives. The baby is a boy. His name is Nyx. I wish he was named something else. I feel like that name's kind of generic. I feel like that name's like, oh, I don't know. I was kind of let down by that, but it's cute. Feyre's a mom now. Again, it just kind of reinforces, like, I'm cool letting Feyre and Reese and their baby live their lives. Like, we don't need more books from them, in my opinion. I would rather see the other characters. So yeah, the three ladies, Gwen, Emery, and Nesta, got thrown into the blood rite, and they survived, but Nesta didn't make it to the top, which very much so disappointed me. But that's okay, because she saved her friends, and that's awesome. Our main villain in this story, I guess, is Brielyn, or whatever, however you pronounce her name. She's the queen that gets turned old in the original trilogy. But I'll be honest, like, whatever. I didn't really care about her. I didn't know if we were supposed to care about her, if she was just kind of there to be there, to give it like an enemy. It very much so felt more adult or new adult in that sense, where the romance was taking more of a center stage than it has in previous books, and I definitely wasn't mad about that. I was totally fine with that. But the queen princess, like, even just to illustrate the point of how minor a role she really played in this whole thing, like Cassian, the whole, you know, finding the trove, going after the magical items, Nesta almost dying a couple of times. It all ends when Cassian pretends to stab himself and Nesta just like lights up with fire and burns her to ash. Then the queen is gone. It's literally like 2 sentences, and didn't bother me at all. I was here for the romance, okay? So I ended off at Starfall. They were having their celebration. He gave her the symphony, which was so freaking sweet. I just couldn't even. And then they had sex, and then they were mates. Super down for it. Super excited about that. I knew they were gonna be mates, obviously, but it was awesome to see, and like, she described it really well, the whole bond being formed sort of deal. So that was cool. And then Nesta denied it, and he denied it, and eventually they both like said that they loved each other and everything was good, and that was awesome. So yeah, I'm gonna go into some of the things that I wish for the sequel now, because I think that the rest of the main characters, I kind of already covered what I want for them. But basically, I would be super cool with another like few big books. I want a book from Asriel and Gwen's perspective. I want a book from Moore and Emery, because I think that they could be something, perhaps. I don't know, but I felt like There was only one hint at it, but it felt very purposeful to me. So I would be cool with more in Emery. Obviously Lucian and Elaine. I don't really like Elaine. She doesn't do much for me, but I do like Lucian. I think he's fun. I think he's cool. He's such an outcast, and like he still does his best to help the people that he cares about, even though he doesn't feel like he fits anywhere. He doesn't feel like anybody wants him anywhere. So yeah, I like him. I want his book just to read about him, not necessarily about Elaine. I do want to know what the whole thing is between Eris and Moore. He's like hinting at it left and right, but he wants to speak to Moore. He wants Moore to like say what it is. She knows what it is, whatever the secret is, but he doesn't want to say. He wants her to say, and like, come on, you're just stringing us along here. So that's fun. Vasa, is Vasa gonna be somebody? Are we gonna see more of Vasa? I like her, but also she's not in my top 5 to get a book. You know, I'd rather have a book from Azriel, Moore, Lucian, Tamlin, Eris before I saw Vasa. So, but it is something to mention, like maybe, I don't know. So yeah, I guess in conclusion, this is a really good book. I really enjoyed it, and I'm glad that I read it and I got to kind of record my thoughts as I went along reading it, since it kind of took the world by storm. Pretty much everybody has read a Sarah J. Maas book at this point, and yeah, I enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments down below if there is a book or a series or even a movie or TV show that you guys want to hear me talk about. And also if you want me to relate more of my reading opinions and watching opinions, if you want TV and movie, to how I feel about writing or what I feel like it can teach us about writing. Obviously my channel is primarily a writing channel, but I do want to incorporate more reading into it, and I want to know if you guys would want to see more of that correlation between reading and writing, or if you're cool with just talking about a book and that's fun with you. Let me know in the comments down below. Also, let me know if you read this book and what you thought of it. Who is your vote for the next book in this series? Let me know. I'm really curious. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see more reading and writing content from me, hit that subscribe button down below. I post twice a week, and I will see you guys on Wednesday. Bye!